Hey there guys, Rabbit here, back with another StarCraft Brood War remastered cast, and today I've got something just a little bit special. Two of my Aussie Brood War mates sent me this game. In the top left we have playing in the brown, and I think I can only keep it as brown. Yes, unfortunately, is the Nagnar, and on the bottom right we have Bike Wilson, aka Kinetic. So Kinetic and Nagnar are actually both A-rank Zerg players, but they've decided just to goof around and play this game. So Kinetic has decided to be the off racer, and Nagnar is playing under his normal main race of Zerg. Alright, so I thought about it for a little while, and I decided because this game is all Australian, I'm going to try and cast this game in an Australian accent. The intention is not to offend anybody at all, it's just for a laugh, so I hope you enjoy it. Let me just quickly go and switch it on. Oh yeah, so here we are, mate. We're very excited for the big game today between Kinetic and Nagnar. In the top left we have Nagnar playing Zerg, and in the bottom right we got the white Praetos, his name is Kinetic. Okay. So Kinetic is starting with a Forge expand, which is fairly standard for this game type, and Nagnar is actually building a base, a guessing base with a spawning pool, which would imply that he's looking to put on some early Ling pressure. Alright, here comes the Overlord. He's not going to find a damn thing down here though, and here comes the Brave. He's also not going to find shit. Alright, so what's he going to do? I think he's going to throw down the cannon just in case he dies early. Oh, 3 sets of Lings are coming out here. Praetos could be in a bit of strife. Although the cannon's going to come up with plenty of time. Just it really depends on the timings. Being a cross spawn makes this a bit unfortunate for the Nagnar. He could have probably got away with it. But now he's sending out 8 Lings. And he's really committed to this early pressure. So he's going to have to get some good results out of it. Alright, so the Probe sees all the Lings and goes, oh no, oh dear, here it comes, mate. Like a bloody gobbo on a Tuesday, just running down here. Throws down the Nexus anyway because he's so bloody confident, like a tradie on a Tuesday, just kicking ass. Bringing down some probes to wall in, I think he'll be alright. I don't know if he's going to hold the Lings back or if he's going to commit to this fully, we'll have to see. Oh, looks like he's going for it. No, pulls away. Doesn't really get any results there at all. Here comes some more Lings though. I think he's got about 10 maybe? Yeah, it's about 10. Don't think he's going to do anything with them though. So second hatch comes down. Doesn't really achieve much with the early pressure. Second cannon, nope. I think he's happy that he's... Oh, he's got through! Oh no! And these Lings are getting us around on the cannon. Only one got into the main though. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for the Praetos to clean up. Okay, so what do you do here as the Praetos? I think you just got to carry on with your build. Get your Cybernetics core going. Get your tech tree up. He's lost the Ling. He's lost the probe there to that bloody Ling, but eventually he got away. So that's the end of that, I think. Now Zerg will probably move on to the next phase of their build. No lair as of yet. A macro hatch in base, so you don't know if he's going to go for Hydras. I think he's going to go for a Hydraless base build, but we'll have to see. Oh, the first Zealot is out. He's putting in a bit of pressure. Now I think he might go and scout to see what the Zerg's tech tree is going to be, whether he's going to go for Mutas or he's going to go for Hydralisks. We can see the lair's on its way, so it's probably going to be a Spire, but we'll have to see. So the downside of Nagnar's open, of course, is going to be a bit light on drones, and it certainly gives the opportunity to the Praetos to get going with their macro. He's only on one gate at this point, but I think he's going to start to add the gate counts shortly. The probe comes in, trying to get the scout on. I think these Lings are going to chase the probe away though. Zealot's here and he's actually just looking for a third. Doesn't really know why the Otherwise, Zerg are only on 2 hatches or 2 bases at this stage, but that's where they are. So basically just a pure Ling lair opening at this stage, no Sunkens or anything, so Nagnor's probably confident that he can hold the Zealot pressure just for the Lings he has on the map. They are speed Lings, they're easy enough to get this around on the Zealot. I don't think the Zealot's going to have a good day, mate. Oh, I think he's going to get eaten alive. He doesn't even get a shot off, he's just gone. Just gone. Okay, so the 2 cannons, they're pathing a little bit uncomfortable, but it is what it is, mate. What you going to do? So he's going to go through here when he moves out. Building a Stargate, a Citadel, so that's fairly normal. Pretty good timings on all of these. I think his first Corsair will pop virtually immediately. And behind this, he's getting his Spire, so he should be able to get some Scourge out to deal with the Corsair pressure. Zerg's got a nice presence on the map, good vision everywhere, Lings scattered about, having a look at where the possible expansions could be of the Praetor player, and gonna know if there's any move outs because of all his vision that he's got in place, so that's really good. Researching Zealot speed, so they can be, no, he's not actually doing Zealot speed yet, he's doing ground weapons and air weapons. A couple extra cannons. I think that's just for anti-meta. Protecting the mineral line. Here comes the Corsair to confirm the Spire. Sees the Spire, sees what he needs to see, knows what he can expect from the Zerg at this stage. 7 mutas are on the way, so he's going to have to be really well prepared. Got a cannon here, adding another one here, and adding a second one into the main. A couple of Corsairs positioned over the cannon so that the Scourge can't cause too much damage. And he should be able to hold this pressure. So a very interesting build from the Zerg, going with the early Lings and then transitioning into basically two hatch meta, which with a natural hatch in base. And here come all the metas to put on the pressure. Let's see what he does with them. Well, that one Zealot's just got eaten alive. So let's buy him a bit of time, but I think he's pretty ready for it anyway. So he's got one Scourge with him. Going straight for the main. Going to pick up that probe, no problem. He's got 3 Corsairs and a cannon. I don't know if that's going to be enough. He chews through that one cannon in no time at all. Comes across here to face 2 cannons, and I don't think that that's going to be as good of an option for him. So Praetor's got +1, adding to their Corsair count all the time. That should help. I think also pushing a Dragoon out of his gateway. I don't know how many gateways he's got. He just seems to have 1. I think, okay, so he's got the 2 gateways. I think 2 Goons and Corsair should help him quite a lot. The Nagnor adding a 3rd hatch behind this pressure, I think taking advantage of his map control, giving an opportunity to expand and grow his macro. I think Praetos is going to have a tough time getting out onto the map with all of the Scourge and the metas in the game. Adding to his gateway, he's got the Templar tech, so still progressing quite nicely with his build. I think he could probably hold any harassment if he were to face them all, considering his Corsair count is now at 4, and they've got +1 attack. The DT is out. I think the Overlord placement though from Nag may spot him, but we're going to track him anyway to see what he can get done, unless there's any other action on the minimap. Okay, so this Overlord might have seen him. We'll have to see how Nagnor prepares for him, if at all. A lot of Scourge coming this way. I think he can really expect an attack on this side. So we're going to try and track the DT unless we see action on the minimap. They're gathering in here. Does he get in? There's an Overlord that can see him though. But it ain't gonna help, because I think he's gonna get 1 drone. Oh, and he kills the Hydra. Or the mutas are going to come back and deal with this DT. This DT has bought Praetos a lot of time. It's actually a master stroke from Kinetic here. Well done, mate. Gets the 1 egg. Gets another That just disappeared. It was gone. That was bloody crazy. Alright, so that's the end here. I don't know what the scourge are here for. Probably just to be the medalist cheerleaders. Okay, so here come the zealots. And the Corsairs are in tow. Oh, big collision, mate. Big collision. 3 Corsairs got away. And I think Kinetic realises that this base is really vulnerable. So he's getting in here with the zealots. And the Corsairs, I think, will be here shortly as well. 3 of them survived. Slowly but surely, Rabbit has returned. It's too difficult to do that the whole time, man. Damn. Anyway, this is a good game. Alright, so we're pushing in. Our zealots are griefing this 3rd base. I think this has been very profitable. The mutas are being chowed by these Corsairs. And so I think now Zerg will probably transition into a relatively pure Hydra game. Adding a few lurkers into their composition. And holding on tight to this base is going to be the name of the game. These Hydras are going to have to get across this Dark Templar. Alright, so he's tidied up. This has actually been a really frenetic and enjoyable game. A really really weird start from both players with the basically 9 full speed from Nag. Well held with the muta transition. And with that attack, which got some pretty decent penetration from Kinetic, he's decided he's comfortable enough to now try and take his 3rd. Nag, though, seeing an opportunity here to counter with, I think, must be about 12 or so Hydras. The Zealots have just run right past. They've just basically run past each other. Here he comes now. He's going to pick off these stray High Templars. If he sees them, that's going to be a problem. Oh, man, he got a little lucky there that he didn't see those High Templars. He could have just picked them off without any storms going off at all. But thankfully for Kinetic, it didn't go down that way. But here we go. So I think the Protoss has got enough here. I think Nag would do well to pull away and add some more units. A bit of a flank though from the Hydras. I think that's a good way to do it. This is a good storm though. Oh, I think this is just too much Protoss. Oh, more Hydras though. That's the problem with Hydras, is you think you've killed a lot and there's just always a lot more on the way. What sort of hatch power has Nag got? He's got 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. So we're looking at 6 hatch production. Basically Hydra man. And he's pushing across the map now to apply some pressure. There are enough storms to support. 3rd cannon coming up here to support this base, which is really good. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see that Protoss is not Kinetic's main. This is a strange base layout, to say the least. Otherwise, his other strategic play has been good. Unfortunately, he just lost 2 High Templars there for free. So that's really painful for Protoss fans. Chasing after the Zerg though, and I haven't seen Lurker Aspect being researched. Here's the Hydra Den. A 4th base coming up now for Nag. Perhaps after the 4th is established, he'll consider getting Lurker Aspect. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, the ground forces of Protoss are having a good time. This is enough Hydras though. He's going to have to pull away. He's going to lose this pretty quickly. He's pulling back. Alright, so that's fine. I think these Hydras are going to go after this 3rd base. There's a lot of them. Gracious me, it's a lot of them. Picking off the straggling units. A couple here on that could potentially flank, but this is a lot of Hydras, man. So does he go after the natural? Or does he transition over here into the 3rd? That's the question. Okay, so I think he's counted the cannons, and he had some doubts, but he's decided to go for it. Here come the reinforcements there, Protoss, and they are going to trap, tidy up these Hydras without too much of a problem. But Nagnar does pull back. He did research Lurker Aspects while I wasn't looking. He's got plenty of Lurkers here, droning up and saturating this 4th base. And I think now starting to move into a pretty strong position. On 46 bases, 7 hatches, Zerg starts to become really, really scary, man. So I think keeping tabs or keeping up with the Zerg is Kinetic now by taking his 4th here. And now he really needs to get his gate count. 1, 2, 5, 6, 10. Okay, so he's going to 10 gate production. He just have 1, So potentially could be getting a second forge to double up on his ground-based upgrades. But this is turning into now a pretty conventional Hydra Lurker versus Dragoon Zealots with Storm support, which is the ZVPs that we see most often. You know them, you love them, you enjoy them. Let's go. So Protoss is on the clock now to move out and kill one of the Zerg bases that has a number of hatcheries at it. If Zerg is left to continuously expand and grow the number of hatcheries, then Protoss really doesn't have much of a chance. So this, I think, is where Kinetic will start to gather some of his forces, and then he needs to, number one, pick his position that he wants to try and take, and then it basically then just comes down to micro. So here we go, armies on the move. Where are we going? What are we going to target? Still a few Corsairs, which I think can prove painful for the Zerg, because you've got to then make sure that you don't lose a whole heap of Overlords. Hydra is moving his army into position, although it's a little bit all over the show. You've got some Hydras coming in from here, flanking a few High Templars, which is what they're targeting. He's picked off one. That was beautifully done by Nag, and now he's running off with those Hydras. That was very solid. So the Zerg, the name of the game for the Zerg is to try and pick off the High Templars. There's usually 5 that flank and support the army. Where is your observer, Eric? So Protoss has moved out and done so without an observer. Here comes the observer now at 16 minutes. I really hope that that isn't the very first observer that you've built, that I've somehow missed it. Okay, so the fierce army is here, but the observer is not. Here he comes. Okay, he seems to have the speed upgrade at least. That's good. Alright, so our observer's in play, and we are ready now to move on this base. You can get some decent surface area here as Protoss. Unfortunately, you are coming onto high ground, and your army does tend to conga. He's left a little bit behind here. Good storms, good storms. Very nicely done. The Dragoon's getting forward, the Zealot's getting in. Where is our observer? I'm just trying to see. He is probably here, but I just can't see him. No, I'm not seeing an observer here. I think our observer died, and our High Templar died, and all our shit died. Ow, rip. Okay, so the observers are here, a little bit behind the action, but these Lings are not going to wait for Protoss to retreat. These are grumpy Lings, and I think Zerg is going to counter here, and I'm very worried for our Protoss friend. His survival prospects, picking off another High Templar, another High Templar. So how many High Templars does Protoss have left? I think the answer is 0. And here comes the Zerg. Here comes the Swarm. A few cannons. There's 2 High Templars here. Throwing down a Storm on the Lurkers. That was pretty solid. So there's 3. Is he producing more? He's building 6 High Templars at a time. So he's got the gas for it. Needs to also be adding some other ground support to assist him. I think a few Zealots, a few Archons as well amongst these High Templars would be helpful, because there's a lot of Lings coming down from Zerg at this stage of the game. Comes some more. So Nag consolidating his position by taking yet another base and adding yet another hatch to that production capacity. Protoss on the other hand also trying to take a 5th up here. Is this a drop? No, it's just an observer, just an overlord to find it. He spotted it, and he's sending in the Lings to take this down before the cannons finish. Oh man, this is clutch. He's just sacked it. He realizes that's going to be the end of that. Doesn't cancel the Nexus in time. He's not moving any units across. I think he realizes this base is gone. Nag sending in another heap of Lings, and that's going to be the end of that. So now amassing up the attack, as I had hoped for. He has added a few Archons because they're really good against masses of Zerglings. But the question now will be, what do you do now if you Protoss? You do need to expand. I think that's the correct idea. This is being well guarded. Again, he's taking down this as well. So he's blocked all of the expansion areas where Protoss can go, and he is just sending in heaps and heaps and heaps of cracklings. So these units are moving into a trap, because once they come up the ramp, a whole heap of Zerg is going to come up to meet them there. That was a good storm though. I think he got a good chunk of the Lings that were on the way. So it's 157 to 143. I think Zerg is still very much in winning position here. Protoss, if they can get a 5th up, it's still got a chance. Oh my god, here it comes. The Swarm. Where is he sending it? He's sending it to the natural, or is he going to try and take out the space? Yeah, so Protoss's army is out of position here. He's got absolutely nothing to protect this base, and he's surrounding it from both sides, so this is absolute toast. And once he gets through this, if he kills this, then it's GG, and I think that's probably what we can expect. Even now with these units coming across, he's going to hit a few of them along the way. Dragoon's pretty weak against these cracklings, and they're going to start to suffer. So Protoss trying to counter-attack, seeing that Zerg have sent a lot of their units down and are quite committed. Trying to take this base up here. Difficult to get up this ramp though. That's a good... Oh no, the storm killed the observer! I hope he has another one. No, that sucks. Because the Zerg's just chilling here and reinforcing this position. These lurkers, they just need to burrow! Burrow! Oh, great storm. Very patient and very precise here from Kinetic. But I don't think he's going to have enough to break. And that is, I'm afraid, the critical thing here. These Hydras and this Lurker are blocking reinforcements, which is going to be a real pain. He's sending up continuous reinforcements from this side to pick off the remainder of the Protoss units that are here. So he's not broken this base, and I think at the end of this fight he's going to send down. He's lost this Nexus here, and I think it's just inevitable before he loses this one here, and it's game over. Alright, so his last hurrah is to throw these units across. Take out that Lurker. Okay, so that base is saved, and here comes a whole heap of brown Zerg. Will probably be consolidated in and just take this fight head on. Yeah, well this base is naked, so he's going to be able to deny this. Nothing here, just a couple of lings. So he's going to kill that probe. And I think when this army goes in here, Nag may actually just consolidate his and take this fight head on. So he's consolidating all his units here. And I think this is what's going to happen, is that his units are going to come up this ramp and down here and wipe out the remainder of the Protoss army. He's going to do it from two angles though. He's not going to come up here. He's going to surround from here, get as much penetration as he can, and kill all these lingering High Templars if he's not careful. Alright, so these Zergs have gotten up here. They've killed one of the High Templars, but the other two got up without too much of an issue. That was pretty decent micro from Kinetic to get away with that, although this Lurker's going to have some fun. He gets hold of the goon, but another good storm, and these Lurkers on the ramp have been killed by these storms. He doesn't have endless storms though, and he's only got 3 High Templars left. Oh, these Lurkers are going to clean this up without any issues. Wow, what an epic fight. 83 plays 110. So Zerg just queuing up now to dish out the killing blow. He's re-established his base behind that fight, which is pretty good. Nag's decided now to throw in some mutas into this. We have probably quite a lot of cannons here, but not that. Okay, there's a few here as well. Maybe this is probably the one that's probably the most vulnerable to mutas. We'll have to see. No observers here with this attack, so you pick off a few drones, but I think the Lurkers will tidy this up without too much of a hassle. It just needs to reposition them. Is there anything else happening on the map at the moment? No, that's really the only fight at this stage. That was very nicely done. Okay, so tidied that up. I think that was an attempt for Kinetic to buy himself some time, but he just doesn't have the income to set up this base. It's basically on. So this is still got something. He's a 2 basing Protoss. He needs to be a 3 basing Protoss yesterday, because he just doesn't have the income to sustain his production facility. So he's building 11 High Templars because he's got the gas for it. Minerals are his challenge at the moment. And Protoss GG's. I think he realizes he just doesn't have enough forces to penetrate. He's gone and built some Guardians here on top of all of that. A pretty good game. I think the clutch play from Zerg was denying the 5th base of the Protoss. There were a couple of engagements there that also went really well for Zerg. That was a very high caliber PVZ. Very much enjoyed it. Thanks, Nag, for sending me the game. Apologies for the terrible Australian accent. I'm Rabidroo. I had a lot of fun casting this game. I cast on a regular basis, Variety Brood War channel. If you enjoyed it, then please do consider subscribing, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.